It's Game 3 of the American League Division Series, and Tigers fans are getting excited, but we can't talk about baseball without talking about trading cards and sports memorabilia. But are these items actually valuable? That's the question a lot of us have. Let's bring in legal expert Danielle Mayoras, joining us today with some tips on those baseball cards we may have sitting in our basement. So are they worth something?
Believe it or not, they could be.
Okay.
I was actually surprised, but it is a $30 billion market for sports memorabilia. And while that sounds like it's a huge number, in the next 10 years, actually less than 10 years, it's going to be over $227 billion.
Wow.
So hang on to those baseball cards. Don't throw them away until you get them appraised and see if they're worth something.
So these are for the older cards, right? What if people are getting cards now? Do you have to wait for it to age a bit? Is that what it is?
I mean, I think anything with historical significance is important. So it could be anything from a baseball to a baseball card to maybe a jersey. But the key is, does it relate to a historical event? So right now, one of the things going on is with LA Dodger Ohtani, who had a 50th home run ball. And that ball is going to be worth millions. So there's a big fight now in court over who actually is the owner of that ball.
Oh, wow. Okay, so with this, does the price increase if there's an autograph attached to it?
It could.
Okay.
I'm not an expert in that regard, but I think there's a variety of things, and the key really is to get it appraised by someone who knows what they're doing. Unfortunately, there's a lot of fraud in this industry. So having something be authenticated by someone who knows what they're doing is really key.
And how do you vet that? How do you make sure that you're talking to an expert who is honest and really knows what they're doing?
I would ask a lot of questions. I would check reviews. Unfortunately, one of the things we're seeing now is people are buying things, sports collectibles, off of the internet. And there's really questions about the sellers and if these things they're buying are actually authentic or not.
And when it comes to who gets what, let's say someone passes away and they have this huge collection, how do we determine who gets what and why?
Well, the key, I think, as an estate planning attorney is to designate who you want to receive those items. So many times someone says, oh, I'm going to give this baseball to Johnny, but you need to put it in writing. So whether you do a will or whether you do a trust, if you have a high-value sports collectible, put down who you want to receive it, because if you don't, it could lead to fighting and a lot of confusion.
Right. And with trading cards, is that still a thing?
It is. I was actually, Babe Ruth's card went for millions of dollars.
Wow.
So while we may not have Babe Ruth's trading card, you still want to look into this before you throw them away, because who knows, you could have something really valuable sitting in a box in your basement.
You sure could. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? I know.
Cards. Well, if people want more information and they may want some help from you, where can they find you?
They can find me at our law firm at brmmlaw.com.
All right, Danielle, thank you so much. Always so informative.
Thank you, Lauren.